Hey, what's going on, guys? So you can tell from the title and you can tell from the topic that I'm gonna be going more so on the dangerous side with this video, because this is a topic that triggers a lot of Naruto fans, and understandably so. Naruto is a very beloved character. He's somebody that we all love. Like in the case of myself, I've got a love-hate relationship when it comes to Naruto Uzumaki, but I mean, for the most part, as Naruto's grown and progressed through the world, I've kind of done the same thing. You know, like Naruto is in his mid 30s, like he's 33 years old. He was 17 at the end of the 4th grade ninja war, and he's 16 years removed from that in the Boruto manga, so that puts him around 33. So Naruto is approaching his mid 30s. I'm no way in hell near that age. Because of that, I've essentially grown up alongside Naruto. Depending on which iteration of the story, where the story was at, I was the same age or I was a couple of years younger. While I do have that love-hate relationship with Naruto Uzumaki, I don't want to see a character die, but I can totally understand why so many different people are open to the idea, and most importantly, I can understand why series creator Masashi Kishimoto told Kodachi that he's okay if he wants to kill Naruto or any other member of the previous generation. And Kishimoto even said, when he was talking about the Boruto manga, when he was promoting the Boruto anime, he said that no character from the previous generation is safe, and that just sent chills down a lot of spines of a lot of different people in the fandom. And it made a lot of people say, if Naruto gets killed off for whatever reason, they're gonna drop the series. And so I want to kind of talk about that, and I want to talk to those people, right? I completely understand your hatred, I completely understand your pain, and I'm going to give you my personal experience with this with another series. I remember back in 2011 when Marvel decided to kill Peter Parker off. I was pissed. I was so pissed, because Spider-Man was one of the first comic book characters that I read for a very long time. Like when I was a child, before I even discovered Dragon Ball, which led me to discovering Naruto, interestingly enough. But before I even got into anime, I was reading all the comic books, and Spider-Man was hands down one of my favorite characters. Depending on what age I was, Spider-Man was my favorite character. And to see a childhood character that I had just loved for years and years and years get killed off, and in the fashion that he was killed off, it pissed me off. Like when Brian Michael Bendis did the story for that, it was actually Mark Bagley that did the illustrations for it. But when that came out, dude, I was pissed. I was so pissed. I wasn't at the point like what a lot of people were sending hate mail and everything to Marvel and to Brian Michael Bendis, but I was so pissed off. And so I said to say, when it comes to Naruto fans, I think that if you kill off Naruto, you're gonna have a similar reaction. Like when the Naruto manga ended, you had people who were burning their manga volumes because they didn't get the shippings that they wanted, whether it be the Naruto and Sasuke pairing, because that was very popular, or whether it be the Naruto and Sakura pairing, which was also popular. And because of stuff like that, if Naruto dies, I can see a lot of people dropping the franchise. But at the same time, the reason why I use the Spider-Man effect is I do believe that if they were to do this, you would have a similar effect of what happened with Spider-Man going forward. So essentially what you ended up happening is, after they killed off Peter Parker, they introduced Miles Morales, and people like myself just absolutely refused to check out anything Miles Morales. But over time, the natural curiosity of what happened after the death of that beloved character of Peter Parker caused people to go back and to check out what happened with Miles and follow Miles' story. And so in the case of Boruto, killing off Naruto after you've already established Boruto's story and after you've already established him as a character, it's something that could work. But what's going to come down to, it's going to come down to, do we care enough about Boruto as a character? Because if we care enough about Boruto as a character, if that whole opening dialogue about how this is my story is actually done correctly, and we get to the point where Boruto has his own Nindo, which he doesn't have in the anime right now, and in the manga he's still trying to find it. But if it gets to that point where Boruto as a series completely stands on its own, doesn't have to rely on Naruto or any of the old generation, and the viewers, the readers, get to a point where they have that attachment to Boruto, then watching Boruto suffer and watching the trials and tribulations that come after that, watching a character who took for granted who his father was and was teased with the possibility of his father dying, like it was in the Boruto movie, as well as in the Naruto Boruto Next Generations anime and the manga. After getting that tease, actually having Naruto go out and say a heroic fashion where he sacrifices himself for the Hidden Leaf Village, that would actually be pretty poetic. And the reason why I say that is when you look at it, all the Hokages, for the most part, with a few exceptions, keyword, a few exceptions, all of them have died while being the Hokage and in service to the village. Hashirama died during the First Great Ninja War. Tobirama died during the First Great Ninja War, protecting the next generation. The third Hokage died protecting the village from Orochimaru. Minato died during the Kyuubi attack. So I mean, you do see it, like with the newer generation with Tsunade and Kakashi, and now possibly with Naruto, they've kind of bucked that trend. But for the most part, most of the Hokages have died when it comes to saving the village. And I think that when you go back to the Naruto story, all the way back in the very beginning, like I want to say in volume 1, it is volume 1, during the Bell test, right? You got that moment where Naruto's like, yeah, what's that stone right there? Oh, those are all heroes. Okay, you know what, Kakashi Sensei? You don't want to make me pass? That's cool. I'm going to be a great ninja. I'm going to get my name engraved on that stone as well. And that's when Kakashi says, yeah, all those people, those are names of dead ninja. They died in service. And when Naruto is KIA, he's like, ha, what's that mean? Is that a super awesome ninja? I'm like, no, dummy, that's killed in action. That's foreshadowing. That's foreshadowing. And then at that point in the series, all of the Hokage, except for the third Hokage, they all had their faces engraved in the Hidden Leaf Village. And what better way for Naruto to die protecting the village, just like his own father did, dying to protect the village. Naruto's face is already on the Hokage face side. Naruto's already gonna be a legend. The guy has already saved the world 3 times, 4 times if you count Sasuke. So at this point, what more is there for Naruto's character? And I think that's something we do have to ask ourselves. Is Naruto Uzumaki as a character done? Now, I don't mean in terms of, is Naruto boring now? I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is, it's like when you look at the story of Naruto, when you look at the chart for his character, he's accomplished what he set out to. Essentially, the storybook on Naruto is done. It's literally done. That's what the 72 volumes of the Naruto manga is. 73 if you count the Naruto Gaiden spinoff. But essentially, the story of Naruto is done. We got introduced to a kid, this boy who wanted to become Hokage, this boy who wanted to get accepted by his village. He ended up, you know, with some side stories and everything, whether it be the whole thing about him being a Jinchuriki and bringing Sasuke back to the village. But Naruto has accomplished everything that he set out to. There's nothing more for the character. There's nothing more. The whole thing of being a good father and everything, Naruto struggling with that got resolved in Naruto Boruto the movie. So essentially, Naruto's character arc is finished. Now, on the flip side of that, because for Boruto, there's a lot of stuff tied in with Boruto and Naruto, that relationship where Boruto went from loving his father and being the spoiled little brat that he was to not understanding why his father had to work so much and what the role of Hokage truly was. Having Naruto being taken away from Boruto could be what's needed to spur him to that next step. And then when you look at the relationship with Boruto and Sasuke, you have to look at it from this perspective. If Naruto were to lose, if Boruto were to lose Naruto, right? If this were to happen where Naruto loses his life, then you essentially would have a character like Boruto who is spoiled just like Sasuke was, who is doted on just like Sasuke was, now being presented with a situation where he has to essentially face hatred. He has to react to it. And who better to keep Boruto from descending into darkness, from betraying who Boruto is as a character, from getting away from being that son that Mitsuki talks about all the time, right? Who better to keep Boruto level-headed and back on track than Sasuke? I think if you kill Naruto, you can't kill Sasuke. Now that brings me to this next thing. That brings me to the whole thing about Sasuke Uchiha. A lot of people, they feel like, well, if you kill Naruto, you have to kill Sasuke. I don't think that that's necessarily the case. I really don't think that that's the case. And the reason why is I get it, whole thing about, Naruto and Sasuke, they develop together, and therefore if something happens to one, it has to happen to the other. Yes, but it doesn't happen at the same time. Like when they got their power-ups, it didn't happen at the exact same time. There was usually a gap. And some rare occasions, like during the Valley of the End, where all of a sudden during the first fight, Naruto started using the QB chakra, and then Sasuke automatically jumped up to his 3-tomi Sharingan. And then when you get to the version 2 cloak of Naruto, and then Sasuke starts using the C2 version of the curse seal. I mean, you did see it in that case, but generally there's been a gap. There's been a period where Sasuke gets a little stronger than Naruto, and then Naruto leapfrogs him, and so on and so forth. And when it comes to the death of the character, I think that if this were to happen, we're on a similar path. And the reason why I say that is when you look at Naruto's story's done. Sasuke's, you can make an argument that Sasuke is writing the final chapter to his story now, because Sasuke's main goals were he wanted to kill Itachi. He wanted to restore the honor of the Uchiha clan. Well, he killed Itachi, but at the same time, the Uchiha clan's name is still being restored. It's still being restored, and he's only got a daughter right now. He needs a son if he's going to continue on the legacy of the Uchiha clan. But at the same time of that too, Sasuke, for whatever reason, still feels like he needs to redeem himself. And I think that Sasuke looks at the character of Boruto and being a mentor to him as redeeming himself, redeeming the Uchiha clan through his daughter by guiding his daughter down the right path, but also by training his rival son. It allows Sasuke to fully make amends. And while you can say, why would that have anything to do with Sasuke guiding Boruto? That's his final act, because his rival son is going to need him to get through the dark times. Like hell, just the destruction of Konoha in itself, Sasuke is the one who's better fitted to keep Boruto from going off and being hot-headed and doing something crazy. That'd be Sasuke. But at the same time, I get why a lot of people say you don't have to kill off Naruto, you can just seal him away. If you have Kawaki kill him, that's gonna cheapen it. Yeah, I agree with you. If you say that, I completely agree with you. That we don't need to have Kawaki kill Naruto. That cannot happen. If that happens, I've got 18 years. Has it been 18 years? By the time you guys see this video, I would have been reading Naruto and watching Naruto for 18 years. I found the series in 2001. So I've got 18 years into this fandom. And I'm not gonna say I would drop the series, but I think I would have a period just like with what happened with Spider-Man, where all of a sudden I might check out from what's going on in the Boruto anime and manga for probably half a year, and then I'm gonna give it a chance. But at the same time, I could totally see why they do that. Now, again, I think that you don't need to have Kawaki do it. I don't think that you need to have somebody like Jigen do it. If you're gonna do it, you gotta have an Asusuki or somebody. You gotta have someone where it's completely believable that Naruto would need to sacrifice himself. Or you need to have some super overpowered, extremely hacks jutsu that does it. I think that it has to be one of those two, but it can't be somebody from Kara, because if Jigen is the leader and just KCM Naruto was confirmed by Kawaki to be as strong, if not stronger, then it can't be anybody from Kara, and it can't be Kawaki himself, but it has to be a bigger threat. It has to be Naruto giving up his life in a heroic fashion, dying a heroic way, dying in a way that makes it feel like he's continuing that Hokage curse, but at the same time, he's doing something to where it mirrors Minato. I think that would be the best way. Minato or the third Hokage's death. But I mean, those are my thoughts on this matter, guys. What do you think? Do you think that Naruto should die? Would you stop watching the series or stop reading the manga if that happened? And as a final question, let me know down in the comment section, how long have you been a Naruto fan? If you don't want to get caught lacking out here in these Konoha streets, then make sure you subscribe and join the Senju squad, and make sure you hit that bell so you never miss out on the Naruto/Boruto content on the channel. And never forget that Senju DNA is love and Senju DNA is life.